Yeah, so do you see my slides? Great. So just a short presentation of COPSAC because we cover quite a broad range of areas and methodologies. But so I'll just run through it quickly. So basically, we are a research unit trying to understand the origins of pediatric disease. So really focusing on the early periods of life. We have two birth cohorts who are where we follow the children from birth, and one of them is old now. They are all adults, COPSAC 2000, and one where the children are around 13 years of age now. The main focus is this black box of childhood asthma. And when we say black box, we really mean it. So compared to lots of other research areas like cancer, very little is known about asthma, particularly childhood asthma, and particularly the very early years of life that we study in here. So we are very ignorant about a lot of the more mechanistic things, and really that's one main reason for moving into areas like EVs as well. We try to improve that by following our birth cohorts, combining it with we do a lot of exposome, a lot of environmental exposure assessments, and then we try to understand this black box in the middle by doing genomics, transcriptomics, epigenomics, immune profiling, viral, metabolome, microbiome, proteomics, etc. at certain time points, both in blood and the target organs. And then we study we do, as a special thing, we do some clinical trials as well because we're clinicians and we know from the clinic that if we don't do randomized trials, we really don't know anything about causality from our perspective. So we have done some interventions as well, giving fish oil, giving vitamin D to some of the mothers in the randomized trial to see what that did, doing some randomized trials on antibiotics during acute episodes, etc., and then trying to understand who respond well, what is actually the mechanism behind that. As an outcome, from the beginning, it was very much asthma, allergy, eczema. But as we are pediatricians and all of these different health aspects are entangled in children, we also start expanding to more metabolism, cognition, etc. Then we have a specific cohort, and that's where we are particularly thinking about EVs and are starting up now, looking at what we can do. Is a National Severe Asthma Study we have, and it consists of 100 severe asthma cases, 73 healthy individuals. We have assessments at baseline, 1 year follow-up, and during acute visits, and that is quite unique. And during those visits, we sampled material from the airway transcriptomics, proteomics, microbiome, etc. We measure blood and immune parameters. We have a big biobank of nasal scrapings, nasal filter papers, etc. And this is really, we think, a good way when we study new methodologies like EVs, where we expect a strong disease signal and to see what is really the potential. So that is where we're thinking about EVs specifically. Our interest in the EV field would be really if we can have a biomarker or mediator of airway inflammation, for example, starting up with severe asthma exacerbations, and see what is the role of EVs in the airway, for example, in this whole pathology. We have a specific interest in response to viruses, and we plan to look at EVs both in vivo, in the material we sampled from the children when they had acute asthma attacks, but also in airway models where we will stimulate airway cells with rhinoviruses. We have a really strong focus on microbiome in COPSAC, so airway microbiome, gut microbiome, and that could be an interesting aspect as well. And we have a strong interest in how do we have healthy lung development, because that is really something that is affected very early in life where EVs could be involved as well. So that's just our main interest. But as you see, we have a large scope of interest and possibilities. So maybe some of the things we do could also have interest for people working in other fields because we have the biomaterial, we have this whole body assessment of the children. Then we're a group around 50 people doing lots of different things, expertise in bioinformatics, data analysis mainly, the clinical part, not a lot of lab experience. We collect the material, but then when we do lab analysis, that's in collaboration with external partners who could be you. But you're very welcome, and Copenhagen is a nice city, particularly in the summertime of the year, but you're always welcome. So that's us basically, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.